Welcome back to Bloomberg Markets. Elon Musk has ditched Twitter's Blue Bird. Over the weekend, Musk said the platform will rebrand as X, part of the app's move in a new direction. All of the Musk changes have, on the one hand, been welcomed by some, but creating an opportunity for social media players to jump in, given the disruption. For instance, we saw Threads unveiled by rival Meta recently. That is the parent company of Facebook, which also has earnings out this week. For a preview, let's bring in Deborah Williamson. She's a principal analyst at Insider Intelligence and a longtime social media tracker. Deborah, nice to have you back with us. I guess let's start with this unveiling of this new X logo and X rebranding. What was your reaction to that?
Yeah, it's wow. It is a huge moment in social media. Many of us, myself included, we grew up in the social media space looking at Twitter, following Twitter. Twitter has enormous brand recognition, even though its user base has never really kept up with some of the larger platforms. Everybody knows Twitter. Everybody knows that Blue Bird logo. And so this rebrand is really huge news. And it's been called, I think, something of a Hail Mary for Elon Musk because of all of the challenges that Twitter has experienced over the past year or so when Elon Musk has been associated with the company. It's also been said that, is Elon Musk, is he helping the Twitter brand or is he hurting the Twitter brand? And at this point now, by changing the name to X, he does have sort of somewhat of a blank slate to try to build a new service that maybe has new features, new things, and maybe leave some of that turmoil that's been going on for Twitter for months and months in the dust. It's going to be a very interesting one to watch, and it definitely tells me that, as is the usual for social media, there's never a dull moment. There's always something going on in these companies, and they make news and they move markets.
There have also been frequent references to how social media platforms can evolve to have more elements. There's a frequent reference to WeChat in China as an everything app, and Musk is in many ways positioning X as an everything app. For those who aren't familiar, what exactly does WeChat look and feel like? How might that inform us on what X/Twitter looks like going forward?
Yeah, it's an interesting one and definitely been talked about for several years, like you mentioned, not only with Twitter and X, but also with Meta and what Mark Zuckerberg might want to do with, say, WhatsApp or Facebook. So WeChat is what you would call a super app. It's multiple things all rolled into one app. So imagine being able to not only social network and communicate, but pay bills, hail a taxi, find a ride share, order food, bank, all sorts of things rolled into one app. And so it's been hugely successful in China. China's payments infrastructure has really built up around this idea of super apps. What's interesting to me about what's going on with X, and perhaps also tying this into Meta and what Mark Zuckerberg might want to do with some of his apps, is that in the Western world, and particularly in countries like Canada or the United States, the payments infrastructure is very different. People are used to using credit cards. They don't necessarily trust their social media apps to make payments and to interact with their banks. And so that, I think, has always created a bit of a tension and a bit of dysfunction in the idea of creating a super app in North America. And so it's going to be a big challenge, I think, for Musk. I mean, he does have background in payments with his association with PayPal, so he definitely knows how to do it. It's just really, to me, going to be a question of, do people want this from X? And can he create something new? I mean, again, X is this sort of unformed brand right now. Can he make a brand that people want to interact and engage with in all these different ways that I discussed, like they might do in China with WeChat?
Interestingly enough, while we're going to be focusing on Facebook's parent Meta this week with their earnings, While the apps themselves, Facebook, Instagram, they're still Facebook and Instagram, the company quite literally changed its name, as is the case in, Twitter becoming X Corporation and Facebook becoming Meta Platforms to leverage Mark Zuckerberg's dreams for the metaverse. Now, a lot has changed since those initial plans were unveiled, including a real sell-off in the stock. But this year, investors have fallen in love with big tech again. They've fallen in love with AI themes. And presumably, they think Meta's well-positioned to cash in on that. What would you say about the business? What are you seeing right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw better than expected results in Q1 for Meta, and we're expecting Q2 to look similar or perhaps even better. We think that there were a couple of factors that might have helped Meta in Q2. One of those is the strong performance of an advertising automation tool that Meta has been rolling out. It's called Advantage. We're seeing stronger momentum for advertisers gravitating towards Reels, which is Instagram and Facebook's counterpart to TikTok. And of course, the slightly more optimistic economic outlook going into the second half of the year, I think also has benefited Meta. So overall, while we don't at our company publish quarterly estimates for how much we expect the revenue to grow, we think that if Meta can reach the upper end of its guidance that it published last quarter, that it might show even as much as double-digit year-over-year revenue growth, which would be the first time since Q4 of 2021 that it would achieve that.
Well, that